Hey guys, this is Alex, and welcome back to the Two Dudes, Brews and Reviews podcast. On today's episode, Austin and I are talking about the Coen Brothers' 1996 dark comedy and crime drama film, Fargo. Contrary to the usual TDBR antics, we don't get too drunk or stray off topic on this one. But do be warned, we copy the Minnesota accents from the movie quite a bit. As always, if you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast, and if you have any music and movie-loving friends, maybe tell them about us too. With that being said, we hope you enjoy the show.
What are we doing for the podcast today, dude?
Well, we're talking about a little film from 1996 called Fargo. It was written and directed by Joel and Ethan Coen. And me recommending this movie was kind of random. I don't know what made me think of it but I figured it might be something you enjoyed. Yeah, I'm eager to hear what you got to say about it.
It was a lot darker than I thought it was going to be. I thought there would be a little bit more direct comedic relief.
It's more done in the driest way possible. Upon
seeing it for the first time, I watched the trailer the night before, the original release trailer from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me such a different tone than what I got. It was that classic this holiday weekend or whatever the fuck,
the old 90s commentary,
and just some real uppity fucking gimmicky trailer music, and I was this is
Jerry Lundegaard is a car salesman.
That shit, yeah.
I'm so glad they don't do that anymore.
And so I watched it for the first time last night, and I watched it again this afternoon. I feel like I always come into it a little bit better when I watch a movie twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I feel I owe it together to watch this twice, because I feel I can't remember the last time I watched a movie twice before a podcast.
I think the only movie I didn't watch twice was Spirited Away.
Mm.
I think it's because I watched it the day that we recorded. But yeah, every other time I usually go about 2 or 3 rewatches.
You did 3 for The Lighthouse, didn't you? Or was it 2?
I think it was 2 for that one. I watched Interstellar 3 times, though.
Fuck, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I had to do an Interstellar moment after the fucking movie ended.
Oh, really?
I had to I was I don't want to just drown my brain out with more media after this. And I just turned around in my chair and I was just whew. Again, this movie hit me a lot differently than I thought it would.
It's an odd kind of movie, though.
I knew I was getting something different upon the opening scenes, the opening credits. It is the most epic fucking music for some fucking car driving in the snow.
Yeah.
I was I'm in for a fucking ride here, aren't I?
It definitely gives you that sinister kind of vibe that disaster is coming, pretty much.
It's got a weird medieval vampire Transylvania type fucking score.
I think for the music for this movie, they took old, I don't know if it was Swedish or Scandinavian folk songs and kind of twisted them up a little bit. It kind of feels like fairy tale music gone bad or something like that.
It had a very sinister feel to it, like you said, like a music that would accompany the fucking princess getting lost in the fucking bad part of the woods, fucking Beauty and the Beast shit. And then the cast in this movie, very nice. William H. Macy. I can't not see him without a mustache, so it was weird to see him so young.
I can't unsee the him playing Frank Gallagher in Shameless.
Mm-hmm.
He's so iconic in that role. He's a clean cut, baby faced
car salesman.
He's a little shit in this movie, to be honest.
Jerry
Lundegaard.
Fucking I had so many questions throughout the movie. I'm where's your sense of morality here? You're a family man, damn it. The fuck is wrong with you?
That's definitely one of the things I want to talk about eventually.
Yeah, we'll
his character is pretty interesting, to say the least.
It opens up with that car driving in the snow, and then we get the title Fargo, and then it's him walking into a bar to meet our 2 criminals,
played by Steve Buscemi and Peter Stormare, I think is what his name is.
Also, really weird to see Steve Buscemi play somebody other than a Adam Sandler character.
Dude, it's weird. We grew up during the era where Steve Buscemi was doing the stupid...
The fucking end of a fucking joke kind of guy.
Yeah. I mean, dude, he was in Reservoir Dogs back in the day. Like, he was like a crime actor for the most part up until Adam Sandler made him into a joke.
It's true. And this is before the fucking him being a weird-looking fella. They caught on to that quick. Because I've never seen Reservoir Dogs. That's one of the movies on my list of need to watch.
I haven't seen it yet either.
Somebody is fucking screaming right now. What the fuck?
I've seen almost every Tarantino movie except for that one.
I'm trying to think of the Tarantino movie I haven't seen besides that one.
I haven't seen Jackie Brown either.
I have not seen that one. And then he didn't write From Dusk Till Dawn. I haven't seen Death Brief either. Yeah, Jerry Lundegaard is hiring these two men to kidnap his wife for ransom money because he wants the money to buy an investment, I assume.
Something like that. Like he makes a offhand comment about being like in debt for some reason. And like you kind of learn some little things about him throughout the movie that might like have to do with that.
Nothing's ever direct, man.
It's not really, none of that's ever explained in the film. Like you just kind of assume like, oh, he's up to something shitty with the whole making the car VIN numbers like unreadable when he sends them in. Like, I mean, clearly he has like a little bit of criminal history because he steals a car off his own lot to give to these two guys.
One thing I wanted to ask you, have you ever seen the TV show Fargo?
I have not, no.
I have not. Well, obviously I haven't either. But I was like reading and watching clips about it today, and I think they do like a new story every season or something. But it's like all about morality. It's a little bit. It's like pretty deep for a fucking TV show.
I've been wanting to watch it for a while.
I was gonna say it might be something I'm interested in after watching this film. I think it probably does the film justice, and then it gets to expand upon the deeper inner workings of shit and like. Expand upon like humanity. Yeah, he like hires these two guys to fucking kidnap his wife because the daddy is rich and he won't get that money.
I feel like things go off the rails really quickly in this movie.
So second viewing, the movie went by a lot faster than it did the first viewing. First viewing, I was like questioning everything. I was like on the like a suspense. I had like that time was moving really slow type of feel. Kind of like the same thing with The Lighthouse. Like it goes by.
Like once you know the beats of the story, like
it nothing comes to a surprise anymore. So like my second viewing this morning was like very fast. And like I knew, I wish I wouldn't have watched it a second time.
Why is that?
The wood chipper, bro, fucked me. That shit was disturbing.
Did you not know about
I did not know about it. I knew almost nothing about this movie, surprisingly.
When I went to watch this for the first time a couple years ago, the wood chipper was the only thing I knew about the movie. Someone gets thrown into a wood chipper, and I was like, I want to see that movie.
Not me. I'm like, no, I'm not watching that.
You know how I am.
Yeah.
I probably laughed.
I was going to say, did you laugh hysterically? Yeah, shit goes off the rails pretty fast. Like, after they get the car, they get pulled over because they don't have temporary tags.
You might be jumping ahead a little.
Oh shit!
Because they haven't kidnapped Gene.
Oh shit! Yeah. Fuck.
We do get like one scene where William H. Macy comes back home and like he has dinner with his family, and you kind of get like an idea of like the dynamic between him and his father-in-law, where like Jerry kind of comes across real pathetic, and like the father-in-law talks over him a lot. Like there's like a
weird power dynamic going on.
Exactly.
It's yeah.
It's that way with the criminals too. Like
the father-in-law, yeah, exactly, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're gonna get into that. Fucking, you get like that first glimpse because at dinner, you know, his wife asks like, "How was Fargo?" Like, I read a little bit of the script, and there's actually like a scene.
Was something deleted?
There's like some more oomph. Like, I guess he is supposed to go and stay somewhere to meet these guys first, and like. I guess like he's supposed to stay in a hotel room or something, and then later on meets these guys. So he must have been gone for the weekend or something. You know what I mean? You know, gets home, the father-in-law's there, and like you can feel like the tension in the room change because she says, "Dad's here." He's like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, these two don't like each other.
Tries to ask him about the fucking hockey game, and he's not really getting a lot from him. Like not really conversing. You can tell like the dad probably like, my daughter married this fucking loser type guy, and. You get that power dynamic because the son goes out to McDonald's, not even finishing his dinner, like go meet his friends at McDonald's, and the father-in-law, his name's Wade. Wade says,
starts like criticizing like their parenting, kind of.
I thought this was hilarious. He said, "I tell you, they're not drinking milkshakes." I'm like, nice. But yeah, so you get like that character development, that little insight, exposition. Dude, what is going through Jerry's head?
Like knowing he just set up like a kidnapping for his wife. He never seems like he's in much distress about that situation. There's a couple of moments later on in the movie where he's like stressed out, but it's like the money trouble stuff.
It's always about the money.
Like, I don't want to jump ahead too far, but like even when his wife goes missing, he forgets about his son, trying to do like the hostage negotiations with his father-in-law and like his business partner.
Yes.
All of a sudden he thinks about Scotty, his son.
He's like, oh yeah.
He's like, oh no, Scotty. Like,
he forgot.
Like, you forgot to tell your son that your wife was fucking kidnapped, or kind of like showcases what ideals Jerry has.
It blows my mind. I'm sure there's people out there that's all they think about, but good Lord, like that. What? How do you do that?
And I like that he's never played up like a villain, really. Like, he's not like showed as a villain. He's not like a mustache twirling, like greedy type. Like, he thinks he's doing the right thing.
He has like the victim personality. I don't understand it. It's because it's all about success and like money. Also, Wade says he's trying to talk to father-in-law. Jerry's trying to talk to Wade. Then he's like, this would work out really good for
me, Gene, and Scotty.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And he's like, Gene and Scotty will never have to worry. And that was like just a subtle way of saying,
like, fuck you, Jerry.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Small little power dynamics throughout the dialogue is something that's really well done. It's perfectly written, in my opinion, in terms of displaying.
Well, like, as soon as Jerry sets up this whole kidnapping thing, he goes to Wade for like an investment opportunity, and he thinks that it's going to be like really beneficial for him. So he immediately tries to call off the kidnapping like before it happens. Yep. And this is like a day later. So like,
and he meets Shep. It looks like one of the mechanics at the car dealership he works at.
And he like can't get a hold of the guys, so he can't call it off. He doesn't act that stressed about like, oh fuck, like these guys are still going to come. Doesn't even faze him.
He's like, oh, okay. I think from there we go into the kidnapping. Dude, this shit was fucking scary. Like I said, it's going to happen.
But you don't know, like, are they going to rough her up? Or, like, what if, like, Scotty's home or something like that?
I remember as a kid watching Taken when it came out. And that shit, like, traumatized me as, like, an adolescent. Like, I was just able to, like, stay home for the first time by myself. Like, oh, I'm a fucking cool kid. I don't have to have nobody stay at the house when I'm out here in the summer and shit like that. That shit gave me fucking the worst paranoia about somebody coming to the house and, like, fucking breaking in and shit.
Well, do you think your dad could pull a Liam Neeson and come after you?
Yeah. Probably. It'd be more like Hugh Jackman in Prisoners, but yes.
I haven't seen that movie in so long.
That's a Denis Villeneuve movie. I forgot he did that, but yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time either.
He did like Sicario and stuff, right? Okay, he's done a couple good movies.
He's doing Dune right now.
That's right.
Yeah, he's doing Dune. He did Arrival. He did Blade Runner 2049. He's got a nice filmography going for him.
Those are all considered great movies. Yeah.
Arrival's great. Blade Runner 2049, you already know.
Still haven't seen it. Damn it.
They're on both the Blade Runner movies on HBO now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to go back and watch the original first before I watch the 2018 one.
For sure. But you can watch them separately. You can watch them out of order, but yeah. Okay, so the kidnapping is like just fucking traumatizing because it's going to happen, but like if you look through the lens of the wife,
that's real freaky.
That's fucking scary, man. I'll get there in a second. I got to ask you a question.
What's that?
Well, she runs upstairs and all that, and after she bites the one dude's fucking hand and runs up the stairs and to the bathroom, locks the door and all that shit, opens the window, and then she's hiding behind the curtain. You get like a little insight to the other criminal. He like gets his hand bitten and he like immediately wants to like patch up his wound. Like he's like kind of a oaf.
Yeah.
Like forgets about like why the fuck they're there.
I'm glad you said that because I'm going to bring something up in a second. But go ahead.
When they're running into the bathroom, like thinking that she ran out the window. I don't know if you caught this, but there's a Playboy magazine right under the windowsill. Okay,
I did catch that.
I was like, on my second viewing, I was like
just right there in the open in the fucking bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, is Gene okay with this?
I was like, damn, man, like you got some balls. That shit's funny. One criticism I had, I mean, I'm sure she's in full panic, but I'm like, why is she fucking caught up in this goddamn shower curtain?
I think like the criminal guy like kind of figured she was in there, but she's the one that jumps out and gets all like caught up in it. Which brings me to, this movie is about like the incompetence of people. Like everybody in this movie is kind of incompetent except for like the main police lady that we get introduced to later.
Yeah.
The way they even pull off the kidnapping is like fucking stupid. They do it in broad daylight. Buscemi comes up and like is looking through the window like in the living room. Jean is sitting on the couch right there and like
watching.
Like Buscemi doesn't even like notice that she's there. And the other guy just busts down the front door. And of course we have like the whole rigmarole of like the dude gets his finger bitten. It's just his hand. Like he needs ointment immediately. Like these guys aren't like professional criminals. They're kind of, you're right, like the one guy's an oaf, but like both of them are kind of pretty dumb. And the wife is dumb too because she gets caught up in the thing and knocks herself out.
She had plenty of time to fucking go upstairs quickly. Instead, she sat there for like 20 seconds watching him break down this fucking door.
The incompetence is even shown in the first scene of the movie because
Jerry shows up late.
Yeah, like the criminals couldn't like come together on like a one individual time to go there. So like there's like tiny little bits and pieces of that throughout the movie. Everything that bad that happens to people in this movie is kind of like their own fault, except for a few cases.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
I found it strange, the whole kidnapping. Like, it was kind of like stressful to watch. Yeah, you're right. They are incompetent. Something I didn't really think about.
Like when they kidnap her, they put her in the back seat instead of the trunk.
Which, yeah.
If they would have gotten pulled over with her in the trunk, would have that whole ordeal with the state trooper even happened? Because that's like the shit that sets off the events for the rest of the movie, pretty much.
Ooh, man. After the kidnapping, I think Jerry tries to sell a car, and the fucking True Coat goddamn sealant on this car is like the big fucking pinch for the customer and him. And here's another thing I didn't understand. He like goes and asks his boss if he can like work out this deal, but what the fuck why is he asking about an extra ticket?
An extra ticket for like the hockey game?
Yeah,
or whatever?
And then comes back and then offers $100 off.
Okay,
I didn't catch this.
This isn't really explained. The True Coat thing is bullshit. Like he's like making it up to charge customers more money because like he kind of, you can already tell he has like bad business practices. He even says like, well, they put it on in the factory, but like when he told the customer about the car, he like makes it sound optional. I think he's like pocketing the extra money from these cars or something. So him knocking off the $100 was like, all right, I'll just take $400 in profit instead of $500. Or, it doesn't have like a big story implication. It's just like Jerry's
I want to know why he asked for about an extra ticket to the hockey game.
I think he was just like small talk with the boss. Like it didn't mean anything. Like he was just pretending to go like
talk to the boss.
I'll go get a good deal with the boss, and then obviously he doesn't say anything about it.
And the customer's like, "You're a fucking liar."
Well, he says that, but then he's like, "All right, darling, get me my checkbook."
And he's like, "Get this shit over with." Yeah. I guess maybe I did treat him like a victim too much. Maybe I bought into his victimhood too much. Maybe he is a fucking scumbag, like to the highest degree.
Well, he plays it so well that like you don't really see that at first.
He's a fucking car salesman.
It's definitely like in like his pathetic demeanor. Like the way like as soon as someone like comes at him, he kind of like shrivels down a little bit.
And he plays the victim and he uses it to his advantage.
Even like this might be a testament to William H. Macy's acting, but like even in his face kind of like gets sympathy from you. Like he's got this like big blue-eyed look with like,
maybe that's why I bought into that, because he looks so defeated after this customer was like fucking bought into it. God damn it. I think the customer calls him a fucking weasel or something, or somebody calls him a weasel throughout the movie, and that's definitely like he's a thief and like plays the victim and like weasels his way through power and shit.
Well, even like the whole kidnapping crime, he's asking for $1 million from Wade, but he's only telling the criminals about 40,000 of it. And that becomes a theme later on in the movie because Steve Buscemi kind of tries to pull off a similar level of thievery. Where does the plot go after this? Is this where we get the criminals pulled over on the side of the road?
Yeah. This shit stressed me out too.
This scene's crazy dark.
Yeah, they're like pulled over and since the temporary tag isn't posted, he like tries to bribe the cop with $50 hanging out of his wallet. And he's like, I figure we could take care of it right here. And
another example of incompetence.
Like, where is the fucking... Well, I guess it doesn't have a temporary tag. Maybe it doesn't, you know? Like, maybe Jerry didn't give him one. Because I think you have to register the fucking vehicle at, like, a
You'd think, yeah.
Anyway, fucking... The bribe goes wrong, and the accomplice pulls the cop by the hair...
Like, through the window, yeah.
And shoots him in the head right in front of Steve Buscemi's character. Gets blood all over him because the wife is in the back, like...
She starts to, like, make some noise. They play off the murder of the cops so, like, terrifyingly. Because, like, you get this really long shot of Steve Buscemi's face, like, looking in horror.
Going, oh, daddy.
he does say, oh, daddy, a few times.
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine having a fucking person get shot right, like, a foot away from your face and, like, have to...
Fuck no.
Fucking, yeah. You also can tell, like, they're not, like... At least Buscemi's character is not here to, like... draw blood or like be some big fucking bad guy. Because he even like makes a comment to the wife like, we're gonna have to shoot you if you're not quiet back there. Like
says it in a joking way, kind of.
Or like he can't like muster up a fucking act to like make it. But the other criminal can. He's always like, shut the fuck. Like he's definitely like has
a little
like
more experience.
Yeah, more presence like as a criminal.
And you can tell this is like where once the cop is dead, like they've crossed like a very dangerous line because the whole thing was supposed to be like no cops, like the whole deal is between Wade and Jerry and them, and like the police would have never known. I mean, like you kill a state trooper, like there's gonna be like a full-blown investigation. You know, that's what kind of where it goes.
We shouldn't forget that a cop or another car passes by and sees Buscemi dragging the cop to the side of the road, and so what's his name?
It's spelled so weird, like Gaare or something.
Yeah.
Jar, maybe. I don't know.
The big oaf-looking dude. He chases him down, and as they wreck off the side of the road, he shoots one in the back and then shoots the passenger.
Because like she's like still in the car, flipped upside down. This is all played off like horror. Like it's like a straight up horror movie for about 5 minutes.
Like that's what I was saying. Like the tone that I got was so much different than what I thought I was getting. I thought it'd be a little bit more goofy and like it would display, like you said, the incompetence like in a way that was like more comedic. But instead, it was like really fucking dark. Like I didn't like laugh out loud at any. Like I was more like amused by things rather than like I thought they were funny. I mean, I was amused by like the Minnesota dialect and shit. Like that shit was hilarious. But I wasn't like laughing out loud.
That's like the lone thing that lightens the tone a little bit. Because everything's played off pretty realistically.
That shit stressed me out. Like, I was on the fucking edge of my seat the whole movie upon the first viewing. Like, it
knows how to grab you. One of the interesting things about this movie is immediately after the murder scene of the innocents, we're introduced to our protagonist, finally.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And it's like 35 to 40 minutes into the movie. The first scene of her that you get is a panning shot of her bedroom where there's like a bunch of paintings of ducks in there, which I thought was kind of odd.
A bunch of oil paint.
It's Frances McDormand playing Marge Gunderson.
She was in the most recent Best Picture winner.
Nomadland?
I think so.
Yeah, I heard that was great.
She's going to be in The French Dispatch as well.
That'll be awesome.
I watched a trailer for it while we were eating up there.
There's so many fucking famous people in that movie.
She gets the call. And she's like, oh, geez. Like in the morning. And,
she probably says that like 100 times in this movie, too.
Oh, yeah. And her husband, Norm, has to make her eggs. She's also pregnant. Man, they are such a wholesome little couple.
They really are.
I was like, that was the only redeeming quality that I saw in like all the characters. I was like, damn.
Her and her husband are like the two only likable people that like actually have like characterization in this movie. Every scene with the two of them involves eating or laying in bed, though. Did you notice that?
Yeah. Bringing lunch and breakfast, and then, at the end of the night, being like, all right, Norm, I'm turning in. Shit like that.
Marge, you can't go without eating your eggs.
Yeah, it's a cute little couple, though. I was going to say, you get the murder of the state trooper and these two young folk, and then I'm like, you get it. Immediately her coming in for the detective work, and it's just like so lighthearted, like just walking up to a fucking triple homicide,
It brings a little bit of like much needed comfort at this point in the film. There's a really great shot, like cinematography wise, that I liked when like they're eating in the kitchen and like she gets up and walks out to her car. And I think it's all done in one shot, and then she comes back. Like just like the framing of it was really nice looking.
That like a little like cubby of a dining room and then to the downstairs.
Because like the way this movie's shot isn't like overly like fancy. It's not like something crazy like The Lighthouse was or anything like that. But it looks good, and like there are certain shots where I'm like, that looks really like neat right there.
That just reminded me of when the State Patrol. This was a really cool shot I caught, and it was just like a good like lighting trick when they're pulled over and they turn the car off or whatever, and like the light is shining through the back window and through the mirrors, and like you're getting the reflection of the headlights through the mirrors on their eyes and stuff, and like them looking back. And as the accomplice looks back over his shoulder through the back window to look at the cop, it's really cool because his lights are going off and it's like dark, and you can just see the silhouette of his. I thought that was like it's just like a few seconds of like just a little shot, just like showing the emphasis of the fact that, oh shit.
It kind of shows like the urgency of the situation. Like, oh fuck, like the cop, like his like dark silhouette looks kind of menacing. Although of course when he comes up to the car, he's like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, because there isn't like a bunch of crazy cinematography going on here. I mean, we're in the 90s and like it's pretty much basic sets and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
That reminded me when you said there's some cool little tricks they do. Yeah, so Margie, she's the double homicide, and I didn't catch that she was pregnant until she said she had morning sickness.
The way they portray her, she doesn't look super pregnant.
Also, like her shirt isn't tucked in. I caught that up on the second viewing. Like she doesn't tuck her shirt in like a normal police officer would.
Like she's got like her coat's real big to like cover it up, kind of. I feel like you learn a lot about her character from this scene where she's like investigating the homicides. She plays it so cool. I mean, obviously, like there's like 3 dead bodies here, but all she can say is, "Oh, geez,
yeah,
oh, like this ain't no good."
Yeah. But she figures it out really fast, too, though, because she figures there's 2 of them because there's smaller footprints and then a bigger footprint. And then she immediately says these folks must have caught State Highway getting shot, and they got, killed down the road. So she figured it out pretty fast, and even the other police officer that was there with her said, oh, he must have got killed before he wrote down the whole plate because it says DLR. And she's like,
I love her line, I don't think I agree with your police work there.
Yeah. And so she figures it's dealer plates. She's fucking smart. She knows what she's doing. She's about the only competent one.
Yeah, out of all the cops.
Yeah. Yeah, and like even when other cops are around and they do like, there's like later down the line, like about an hour into the film before the lake scene, like one of the cops just like goes up and talks to a resident at this house nearby. And then
it's 2 characters that we never see again.
The cop's just like, oh, okay. He's not being smart. He's just listening.
It's actually one of my favorite scenes in the movie. They really nail the Midwestern like small talk thing. Where like, I mean, he tells him about Steve Buscemi
looking for a hooker,
but then like they all just start like looking up and they're like,
about the fucking front coming in,
like,
the weather.
Oh, I think the snow's coming in.
There ain't nothing worse than having to resort to weather talk. Yeah, but sometimes you gotta do that to break the ice, man. But of course they threw it on the end of the fucking conversation.
Yeah. So the film kind of moves into, we focus back on Buscemi and Peter Stormare, like going to the cabin in the woods. They tie up Gene. Steve Buscemi's throwing a fit about the TV not working.
This was a strange shot to me.
Like the transition they did?
Yeah, like he's smacking the fucking antenna and shit trying to get this TV to work, but then like the accomplice is just like sitting there with a open mouth and like it just pans in on him like real slow. I didn't really understand the point.
I don't know if it was like trying to tell us something about the characters, because like Buscemi's not very tough, but he's like kind of like a little like yappy dog, like real crazy and shit. But like the other guy is like the big quiet silent type that will like actually fucking do some harm once he like you give him a reason to. So I think it's just kind of like showing like the dynamic between the 2 guys. Because I was kind of wondering actually, like, do these 2 guys even really know each other?
I was gonna say,
like, their dynamics seem like
kind of detached from each other.
Like these guys aren't friends. Like this is probably their first job that they've done together.
I think that also echoes back to Shep and William H. Macy, Jerry. And Shep goes, I didn't vouch for the other guy. I think that was kind of, got that on my second viewing, like, oh, like maybe that had some importance to it, because the other guy, well, he's the one that has all the blood on his hands and all that kind of stuff.
Where does it go after this? We get a lot of scenes of like Marge just like investigating or like hanging out with her husband, kind of. Like there's like a little bit of a lull in the action for a while.
Yeah. Well, Steve Buscemi and
other guy.
I'm gonna refer to him as other guy from here on out because I keep going other guy. Yeah, accomplice guy. They get laid like the first few minutes of the fucking movie by like two hookers after they eat pancakes at Pancake House. We've kind of skipped over that, but as they were driving on their way to kidnap Gene and everything, they had that dialogue in the car. He's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? We ate pancakes for breakfast. He's like, I'm hungry now. Like, it's just some weird shit. He's like, I want to get laid and maybe have a beer and a steak. And like, you can tell that the other guy is calling the shots because then, he meets in the middle like, okay, well, we'll get pancakes, but I want to get laid. Marge goes and investigates the two hookers, and they are just blabbering off about how they graduated high school or whatever, and Steve Buscemi was a weird-looking fella, and he was uncircumcised, and that was about the only weird thing about him that she could nail down.
And they liken the other guy as, she's like, he reminds me of the Marlboro Man. Like, maybe it's because he smokes a lot of Marlboros, and like it's like this self-conscious thing.
Bro. Like, yeah.
Like, clearly these two characters are kind of idiotic, and like the way they like both bob their heads at the same time, and they're like oh yeah. Oh. Fucking hilarious to me.
But yeah, she does her investigating, and I think she finally goes and talks to Jerry Lundegaard.
She gets the phone records.
She goes and sees Shep,
and he's like pretty tight-lipped about the whole thing.
Yeah, she like is kind of interrogating Shep because he has a criminal record. I'm not sure what he gives up.
I don't think he gives up anything. He just says like, I didn't receive a call. Like nobody else lives with me, so like nobody else answered the phone.
But it was like at 3 a.m. Like you should have remembered and. Yada, yada, yada. And, but she goes and talks to Jerry and is asking about... This is a weird scene because Jerry is so detached from the interview. And I think Marge senses that, but maybe it works out in Jerry's benefit. But asking about if a car has gone missing off the lot and stuff. And
well, he's like so obviously nervous, but like she kind of like gives people the benefit of the doubt because she's so nice. So when he says no cars are missing, she just goes, well, okay. Thanks for your time. Like, that's kind of the end of it.
Until later. I think after that we go into like the negotiations with the father, trying to work out the money and the phone call and all that stuff. And we should remember that Jerry goes to them with that investment and it doesn't work out because they are right. But Jerry was just hoping that since they're family, you know, they would give him the benefit of the doubt of loaning him the money.
Like $750,000 or something like that, right?
And he's like, we ain't a bank, Jerry. Like, if I wanted my money to be insured, I would go down to the bank.
I love when the two business guys are looking at the paper and they're like, man, this deal is sweet. There's a lot of like repetition of phrases in this movie. Like people repeat the same thing. I'll make you some eggs, or oh daddy, or like all those phrases are repeated multiple times.
It's like someone saying bro or dude or like
just a Minnesota.
Cap, bro, that's cap. Some dumb shit like that.
That one doesn't work for me.
Don't work for me either.
I hate that word.
Sorry I had to do it, but yeah. So here I want to talk about this because we talked about it earlier, but talking about Scotty. This whole time he's been so worried about the money and like trying to cover up his lies and stuff, and he's forgotten about his son. And the fact that his mother has been kidnapped and his wife has been kidnapped, and all he can think about is the deals that he has to work out. And, like, blows my fucking mind. I don't understand how you can get like that. And I don't understand how she could be married to a man like that. But, like, I guess he's just so good at it, being such a shithead.
I feel like maybe this is the first time where, like, shit's really hit the fan for him. 'Cause it kind of seems like all the stuff is coming down on him at the same time.
And it's all out of his control. The VIN number, like, he can't cover up the VIN number. So that guy keeps, hecking him on the phone about he needs the new VIN numbers. And
I didn't really understand, like, what Jerry's scheme was. Like, is he, like, selling cars that don't exist? And that's why he's, like, making the VIN numbers, like, indecipherable?
I think it was for the VIN number for the
Sierra that he sold.
And I think he financed it through somebody. And the VIN number didn't come out. made it unreadable. So
well, it sounded like he's been doing this for a lot of cars because the money, like they said that they paid him
$320,000.
There was probably more than just that one car. Like he's been doing this for a while probably. But the movie doesn't really get into like the hard details of stuff like that.
Just to illustrate that he's a shithead.
Pretty much, yeah. Like some people might not even like catch it or like pay attention to that aspect of his character.
Mm-hmm. I didn't catch a lot of it, and I guess that makes sense though because that $320,000—that's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, like that better be a really nice car. And that Sierra was not. It's a very nice car.
Well, you got to think back then, fucking cars probably cost $10,000 or even $8,000 for a new car. Probably less than that. Fuck, probably $6,000. I mean, we're talking about '90s money, non-inflation. Like $40,000 was probably a lot of fucking money back then.
I didn't think about that really.
You know what I mean? And like $1 million. Talk about $1 million. That's a lot of money. I mean, that's 30 years ago.
So like the next big wrench in Jerry's plan is his father-in-law becomes really adamant about being the one to deal with the criminals, which like kind of like fucks up the whole thing because like Jerry's just supposed to go trade the money. Mm-hmm. Like, and obviously he was going to take his
cut, yeah,
which was way larger than the criminals were going to get.
Uh-huh.
Wade wants to go all Dirty Harry and like fucking take a gun to the deal with Steve Buscemi, and of course you know that it's going to go bad.
Oh, I knew it was going bad as soon as I saw it, but I think it was funny. It's just a small little thing, but as he's driving and like rehearsing his fucking lines that he's gonna say, I'm like, nice. That's just funny to me.
Like he's like playing like fake tough guy.
Uh-huh.
Like he's a businessman. Like obviously he doesn't have any experience with dealing with criminals or
hostage situations.
Mm-hmm.
I also thought it was funny that he tried to offer him $500,000. He's like, let's offer him $500,000.
You're not gonna like fucking bargain with these guys.
Even though,
well, they don't even know that they're getting that much money.
Yeah. This shit was wild, bro.
So like Steve Buscemi's character becomes like really frustrated because Shep goes and beats his ass because he brought the cops' attention on him when he's on parole. So like Buscemi, that causes him to immediately call up Jerry for the. He's like, I want this money right fucking now. Like we're gonna do the deal tonight.
And he's like, I'll kill your fucking wife or your kids. Don't bring Scotty into this. And like, and then like hangs up the phone. He's like, oh, okay.
So that's when Wade goes to meet Buscemi without Jerry with him.
Like Jerry's such out of his element. Buscemi's always like, don't bargain with me. I'm not to be bargained with. And like, he's always like, even though Jerry's trying to like lead this situation, he's lost his fucking power at every fucking, point in the road. And I think it was trying to illustrate like, you're a fucking weasel. You have no power. Like everything you're doing is wrong. Like he's getting his fucking karma, bro. And like, I thought at one point in the movie, like the wife was dead because she was laying on the fucking, at the lake. We'll get there, but I thought she was fucking dead at one point, or like,
I think she did die.
Did she?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, did he fucking beat her to death or some shit, or like put a bullet in her?
The movie kind of plays off like that part so
happens really
nonchalantly.
fast. Yeah.
But you can like see there's like a big pile of blood on the stove when it pans over to her.
Oh, shit.
Another example of the criminal incompetence.
Yeah, he fucking kills her.
Like this is before Buscemi even came back and like told them about like the deal going wrong. Even if Jerry had gone and like everything went right, he wouldn't have got his wife back. So I mean, like the whole thing was kind of fucked up from the beginning.
Can we talk about one thing I don't want to skim over? The fucking Radisson. When they go and she goes and eats dinner with Mike.
Well, this is kind of an important scene in a weird way that like you wouldn't think it would be. So yeah, we definitely can't skip over that one.
Like as he calls her and sees her on the TV, like he calls her so late, like 11 at night or something. But then like I guess since she's going up there and everything, like they make dinner plans or something. And this is a weird, really uncomfortable scene.
There's something really off with this Mike guy. And you can tell like right away because he's like got this like super nervousness, but like he's like highly energetic at the same time. The dinner doesn't go all that good. Like I think he creeps her out in the first 5 minutes that they sit there.
Yeah, because then he like goes and like tries to sit next to her with his arm. That's weird, man.
Like he says like, "Can I sit next to you?" And she's like, "I'd prefer if you didn't." She was pretty she was like pretty straight up about that. Like she wasn't like, "Oh, it's okay." She's like, no, get across from me, motherfucker.
She fucking stood her ground, bro.
he spins this weird story about how he has a wife with cancer that died, and like he's like real successful like doing this like business venture. But we find out later,
like after she made a phone call like to one of her friends talking about it, and her friend's like, "What are you talking about?"
Like Linda's okay. Like you should call her. Like she's never had cancer, and I think she said something about like Mike wouldn't leave her alone.
I don't even think they were maybe even together or something, or maybe they were, but they didn't last long.
Well, he kind of had like some stalker like vibes. But do you know why this scene is like so important?
Explain to me.
Like remember,
maybe I skimmed over this really fast.
Remember earlier I said that like Marge kind of gives people the benefit of the doubt. That's why she let Jerry slip earlier. Like she kind of like just let it go.
This is where it like gets shown to her that people don't always have the best intentions.
And there's like a similarity between Mike and Jerry. They're like kind of these like pathetic. They don't seem like bad people on the outside, but like there might be something more to it there.
Fuck.
So that's what causes her to go back and visit Jerry the second time.
You wizard. Get her. You wizard. You sage.
And I didn't catch that the first time I watched the movie,
You
like years
wise
ago.
Motherfucker.
Like I thought this was just like, I was like, that was a really weird scene.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck was that about? But no, that's why she goes.
Fuck. Open my eye. My third eye is open. But yeah, then
I know we're skipping around a lot here.
it's okay. It happens.
We really didn't talk about the scene where Wade actually meets up with Buscemi.
Dude.
This was intense too.
Buscemi's character's so fed up at this point, he like immediately goes to pulling the gun. Like doesn't want any explanation. He shoots the guy right in the fucking side. Wade shoots him, tries to shoot him in the head, but then shoots him in the mouth.
Like the bullet grazes his jaw, so it's like it's not like a penetration wound.
It's like a flesh wound.
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah.
It's pretty grotesque too. Like when he gets shot in the face and like he looks up to the sky, like the camera is pointing down.
It's like over the shoulder shot.
It's a really cool shot because like you see like the big scar on his face and like the blood coming out. I don't know, like really intense scene because he grabs the briefcase and fucking runs after that.
And then he kills the fucking person at the gate of the parking garage. And you only get to know that because Jerry has followed the whole time.
Well, Buscemi was getting his comeuppance for having to pay the ticket earlier in the movie.
Oh my god, that show's hilarious. He's like, "You think you're doing a real fucking hero's job?" Shit like that. Like, this is where I finally was like, Jerry's a scumbag. You get the implication shot of him opening the fucking trunk.
Like he's gonna put the dude's body in there.
I was like, fucking scumbag.
And he doesn't look torn up about the dude dying, which I know he didn't like. They didn't like each other, but I mean,
nah, he's so dissociative, dude. He was like, it was fucking bizarre to me.
Even if I saw like, I don't have like a worst enemy, but if I did, and I saw them like shot like that, like even that would be like, oh my god, what the fuck? Like, are you okay?
I'd run up, like,
not Jerry.
Opens the fucking trunk. Her first thought in his mind is, where am I gonna put this body? But then Buscemi takes the money and like buries it out in the snow.
Well, this is where he realizes that there was a lot more than 80,000. This is him trying to cheat his partner. Like he could have just taken the million and split it in two, or like gave the other guy a little bit extra something. But no, he doesn't. He buries it on the side of the road in like an area that like probably could not be identified, and he only uses like a snow. Like a
windshield scraper for the snow.
Yeah, like he uses that as like a landmark.
Try to mark it along the fence, yeah.
But he looks left to right, and like
there's no landmarks.
It's just miles of snow and like field. Even if he lived, he probably would have never found the money.
You should have just kept it in the fucking car.
Dude, because they're stupid.
And then he goes back to the lake, right?
Yeah.
And you get to see that Gene is dead. And, you know, he tries to give his partners money. He's watching some fucking like soap opera in the fucking middle of the day, like eating fucking food on this TV tray.
This is like the most emotional, like the most emotion he shows. Like, I mean, he's like watching a soap opera on a very staticky TV, and like his jaw is open because like
one of the characters is pregnant or something, and like it's a shock to the viewers or something.
It's like the most invested emotionally in anything he's been the whole movie. It's just like
was comedic to me. I liked how he had his beer like in a mug, like the beer bottle was hanging out of a mug. That shit's so fucking 90s, bro. Fucking This scene, oh man.
It kind of goes away that you wouldn't think it would.
No. I knew the way the shot was setting up, though, that it was coming. Like, I didn't know it was going to happen. Like, I had no idea where the story was going. But, yeah, they're, like, fighting over who's getting the car. And then he's like, well, somebody will pay. The accomplice is like, well...
Like one of us will pay half or whatever.
Yeah. I got fucking shot. Like, and he's like, I'm taking the fucking car. And then gets axed. He runs out the door. Dude, that shit was nasty.
Yeah.
It was the lighthouse all over again, man.
It's funny that, like, Buscemi is already trying to fuck the guy. Like, he's already got the $1 million, and he's trying to take the car.
Come on, man. Yeah, it's
true. He might have had it coming to him at this point.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. He got what he got. He got what he deserved, too.
So this is where, like, Marge is kind of closing in on the investigation.
Because the cop goes and talks to the one resident and said that they're probably up near the lake, and so she's driving around the lake trying to find this car. Mm-hmm. Finds the car.
Well, another example of their incompetence, they only find where they're at because Buscemi ran his mouth to some random guy and said, like, I killed a man and you'll be next or something.
Yeah, and he's like, I ain't talking about old age either. Yeah, exactly.
They might have been all right if nobody said anything.
If you didn't want to get laid so bad.
We kind of brushed over when Marge goes to visit Jerry at the car dealership a second time. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about it, but, like, she presses him a lot more this time.
About wanting to do an inventory. And he's like, I already answered your damn question. And
Jerry is, like, the worst liar on earth. Like, his, like, mannerisms are, like, all over the place. Like, putting his hand on his chin and scratching his head and, like, clear signs of guilt. He says, I'm going to go count the cars. And he puts his jacket and hat and scarf on. And, like, she looks out the window and, like, sees him driving away. And I love the line where she's like, he's fleeing the interview.
And she's like, oh, shit, how do I get a outside line? Like, trying to use the fucking phone at the desk. Also, Jerry was, like, writing down VIN numbers. Yep. Did you notice that? I thought, like, she was going to catch that, before, like, when he came back and stuff. Kind of be like, what's this?
I thought, because, like, she did kind of, like, look at the papers, but it doesn't play into it.
So, yeah, flees, and then we assume he goes to the motel after that or whatever, and we'll get there. But as she's driving around the lake, sees the car, and then... Gary, you want to take it from here, man?
The wood chipper scene?
I don't want to talk about it. That's just nasty.
So, McDormand, she, like, approaches the property, and, like, you can hear, like, the sound of machinery in the background.
I thought it was a chainsaw.
That's what I thought on my first viewing, too. She walks around the back of the house, and she sees, like, a dude putting something in a wood chipper, and there's, like, blood splat all over the snow, which is, like, kind of a nice visual. I enjoyed it.
Oh, it's so great, isn't it? Yeah, nice bloody visual.
It's sort of shocking.
Oh, it was shocking, bro. It was fucking disgusting.
But they still, like, managed to, at least for me, they pull a little bit of comedy out of it because she's trying to tell him to freeze, but he can't hear because he's, like, shoving a leg into the wood chipper with, like, a log. This scene plays out really weird because, like, in most movies, there would be, like, a big climactic showdown where, like, he throws the log at her and she ducks. And I thought, like, all right, now he's gonna, like, run to the house and there's gonna be some kind of, like, showdown,
big standoff. Yeah.
No, he just fucking turns around and runs into, like, the openness where, like, obviously he was never gonna get away going that direction.
He's an idiot.
I thought he might, like, fall through the ice or something because I think it was, like, a frozen lake.
Yeah.
But she shoots him in the leg, and the way that the imagery is done, it's shot almost exactly the same as when the accomplice shot the innocent guy running away in the snow earlier in the movie.
Yep.
So it kind of felt like full circle.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to talk about the wood chipper. That shit was nasty. That should be my nightmare fuel. I almost told you that after I watched it. Like, this is just going to fill my nightmares tonight. Instead, I got blown up.
So we get a short little scene where Marge has arrested whatever the fuck his name is, blonde-haired psychopath guy, and she, like, kind of gives a little monologue about, like, like all those 30 people left dead in Branyard, your accomplice and Jean, like, all for a little bit of money. And he just stares, like, blankly, like the camera is shooting the rear view mirror so you can see his, like, reflection in it.
And she says, it's a beautiful day out, even though, like, it's fucking disgustingly.
This looks like the most miserable place on earth.
Well, I think it's just to show that, like,
she's really positive.
Yeah. Like, she has a good outlook on life. And then you get they go and arrest Jerry in the motel, and good for him.
When the police, like, approach his motel room, I can't remember what, like, They say a name, and he says, like,
who? And he's like, is this your 98?
Like, maybe he gave, like, a fake name to check into the hotel. And then, like, when they say, Mr. Whatever, he's too stupid to remember the fake name he gave. So he just says, who? He gets arrested in the most pathetic way, kicking and screaming and crying face down in the bed.
And his underwear.
It's appropriate for, like, his character, because that's kind of how he is. The last shot of the movie is Marge and her husband just laying in bed, and he's, like, talking about...
He got his stamp.
Like, his artwork was featured on a 3-cent stamp or something like that. We're kind of left off the same way she was introduced, like them just, like, being in bed. It's like that's the first time you see her and the last time you see her. The credits roll after that.
I think she says, we're doing pretty all right. He's like, 2 more months? Like, talking about their baby gonna be born. And I'm like, these people are, like, they're trying to do the right thing. They're all, like, trying to make an honest living and, like, be good people. And, like, they're, like, the victors. Like, they're the redeemable.
You made a comment earlier about, like, how wholesome they are as a couple. It's just, like, funny because, like, after everything she's seen in the movie, like, all, like, the death and, like, the wood chipper.
She's never, like...
She's, like, never shook by it.
She's never, like, has to come to him and vent and, like...
Like, she's just doing fine.
Yeah.
Like, and she still has hope for humanity because they're, like, talking about their baby and stuff. So...
Yeah.
It's done in a subtle way, but, like, it's not, like, punching you in the face with, like, the...
Yeah, it's not trying
There's still good people out there.
Yeah, it's not trying to beat you over the head with it. No, it was done really well. Oh, I caught that. I caught that for sure. That's my type of fucking movie. I mean, I'm pretty optimistic. I mean, I'm a realist.
That's how I describe myself,
I'm
probably.
not fucking ignorant, but I'm pretty optimistic about a lot of things.
So, yeah, at the end of the day, it was, like, a failed crime. Literally nothing was accomplished. It left, like, 7 dead bodies in the way and, like, people arrested, and it never even tells you, like, what happened to Scotty because, like...
Man, who fucking cares? Even his own fucking dad didn't care.
Yeah, like Gene's dead and Jerry's going to jail. The father-in-law's dead.
No one to look after him.
The money is buried somewhere where, like, no one will ever find it. Yeah, it just feels like nothing was accomplished in the end. And I think that's kind of, like, maybe a statement on, like, crime in general. Like, in real life, like, criminals usually, like... They rarely get away.
And if they do, they end up getting arrested years down the line.
It kind of shows how, like, futile it is. I don't know. An odd little movie.
The wood chipper fucking disturbed the fuck out of me. That shit was nasty. I hate body mutilation. I'm not into, like, gore or, like, horror shit. Like,
I like it sometimes. I can't do, like, the torture porn stuff, like the Saw movies or something in, like, that vein. I can't do that.
I'm sorry. No, I can't do that either. That shit's...
But I can take some violence because
I can do Tarantino because it's usually comedic to me. But
Yeah.
that shit was just disturbing to me. Yeah, man, this is a good little movie. I'm surprised I had never seen it up until this point. I feel like anyone ever references it.
because it might be a little older.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of, like, the Coen Brothers' most successful movies, and it won, I think in 96 it won, like, McDormand got Best Actress at the Oscars, and then it won Best Original Screenplay as well. But, I mean, dude, it's, like, made on a $7 million budget. Like, it's, like, a real cheap,
Yeah.
like,
Good for them.
small-scale movie with, like, small-scale...
They probably made so much fucking money off this movie.
Looks like it grossed $60 million. So it wasn't, like, a huge, like...
Yeah, but still, that's quite a lot.
It's kind of like a niche movie, though, in a way. Like, it's not played like a regular crime thriller.
Yeah.
It's just like a bunch of shit goes wrong, and people talk with a Minnesota accent a lot.
Gosh, I can't help but yawn. I don't know why the fuck I'm yawning.
Are you going to survive there?
I hope so. Jesus Christ, I've had like one drink. Maybe that's why. Maybe I need to get up and get moving. We'll get there.
Gotta play those scales on the guitar.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You betcha.
You betcha.
If you had to give a rating for the movie, what would you think you'd give it?
Probably like a 9.
I was going to say like an 8.5 to a 9,
Yeah.
probably.
I don't really ever want to watch it again.
That's fair enough.
But it was good. Like, I know I've seen it now, and I'm like, I've seen that movie. I know what that is.
Now you need to go explore some of the other Coen Brothers movies.
I've seen No Brother Where Art Thou. I don't think I've seen anything else.
I'd recommend No Country for Old Men.
That shit'll fuck me up, I'm sure.
That one's supposed to be a little bit more serious from what I remember.
I think that's like a very villainous movie. Very sinister.
Or you can go with like The Big Lebowski.
I have
something
not
like
seen that one either.
I've seen it twice. A lot of people love that movie. I'm kind of like in the middle of the road on that one.
It's like a cult type following movie.
It's worth a watch though. So, it's that part of the show, Austin.
Fuck, dude. I have so many I want to do.
I hope you've been thinking about this.
Fuck, I have. Fuck, I want to do so many.
What are we watching or listening to for this this next episode?
Okay, I'm not going to do anything that you would expect. It's nothing that I've seen recently, even though I really wanted to do Minari so bad. I fucking love that movie. God damn it. I really wanted to do it, but I was like, no, I want to like catch this motherfucker by his toe. I want to fucking get this bitch off fucking tempo. We're going to watch District 9.
I've never seen this movie.
Fuck yeah, let's go. You haven't seen it. Okay, good.
It's I know a little bit about it. I know it's like a mixed genre movie. Like there's like a bunch of like different elements. Like it kind of like plays like a different movie at certain points.
Yeah. It should be I came across it. I just was thinking about it today and I was like, damn, I haven't seen that in a long time, but this would be kind of a good one to do.
Who's the lead in that movie?
I have no idea. His name is he's in all those movies by that director. He's like I think he's either from like Australia or New Zealand. Like
Wait, I don't recognize any of these names.
Exactly. This is like a very
This is a big movie though.
It's like an indie film, but like with a big budget.
It's an indie movie that made $210 million in the box office.
Yeah, it made a lot of money. Yeah, I don't know how this shit got made, but we'll get there. We'll have to figure it out. I'm kind of hyped.
Yeah,
you want to talk about mutilation? We're gonna get there on this one.
Well, like
this shit's gonna be hard
mutilation?
for me to watch. I remember watching it as a young boy, so.
Well, dude, I can't wait because this has been one that I've like kind of wanted to see for a long time.
All right, fuck yeah.
Even though it's been like 12 or 13 years since it came out.
Yeah, fuck, it'll work.
That should be a good conversation, man. Can't wait.
All right, sign these bitches off.
Adios.